we're getting a little bit far ahead of ourselves, but Franklin Graham finds you refreshing. He doesn't find me refreshing. Richard Spencer, the white nationalist leader, says he could vote for you.
Joy, this is why
you're on Tucker Carlson at least 10 times. Why don't you go on Chris Wallace's show?
This is why I'm here, because you and other people continue to spread these innuendos that have nothing to do with who I am.
Well, Hillary Clinton started it, and then you shot back at her, boy. You called her the queen of warmongers.
You doubled down, unfortunately, you doubled down on the baseless accusations that she made that strikes at the core of who I am. I'm a soldier. Because of the attacks on 9/11, I enlisted in the military to go after and defeat and destroy the evil that visited us on that day. I've served now for over 16 years, deployed twice to the Middle East during the height of the war, where every single day I saw firsthand the terribly high human cost.
Tulsi Gabbard walked onto the View with a firestorm behind her, and within seconds the entire studio felt it. Tension crystallized the moment she spoke. Joy Behar flashed her trademark smug grin and lobbed one of her usual cheap shots, only this time she went too far. Her weak insults and shaky claims were meant to corner Tulsi, but instead they detonated in her own lap. Calm but laser-focused, Tulsi locked eyes with Joy and dropped a verbal thunderbolt, calling her a fool right on live TV. Gasps ripped through the audience as Joy's face flushed bright red.
I am a patriot. I love our country. I am a strong and intelligent woman of color, and I have dedicated almost my entire adult life to protecting the safety, security, and the freedom of all Americans in this country. It was the attacks on 9/11.
Tulsi didn't give Joy a second to regroup. Eyes locked, voice sharp as a blade, she fired back. You think you can smear me and I'll just smile for the cameras? I've faced enemies overseas who were more honest than this. The crowd buzzed in disbelief as Joy forced a shaky laugh, glancing nervously at her co-hosts for help. None came. Even the crew seemed frozen. The tension was suffocating as Tulsi pressed on, each line hitting harder than the last.
Let me just close this out. That Hillary Clinton, throughout her career, has led with a foreign policy of interventionism and being the world's police, going and toppling dictators in other countries that has caused such destruction and loss of life. I'm against that.
You've built a career out of tearing down anyone you disagree with, Tulsi continued, pointing directly at Joy. But today, you picked the wrong person. Gasps and applause burst from the audience. Joy tried to interject, but Tulsi cut her off instantly. No, your turn is over. Now you're going to listen. Joy froze. Tulsi leaned in, voice steady but devastating. You call yourself a truth teller, but all you've done is spread lies and personal attacks. Whoopi tried to spin it by claiming Tulsi was being defensive. It backfired immediately.
So, before I ask you the first question, what's happening with the telescope and the stuff?
Oh gosh, the challenge is ongoing. The challenge is ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
What is that?
So,
just explain.
They decided. It was decided that they were going to go on sacred land.
Oh yeah.
And put up a telescope and do all this stuff. And the Hawaiians said, no, you're not going to do that. So it's been a fight. Tulsi's been at the forefront, and I try to bring it up. You know,
I remember.
when I can, because it's. I think sacred land is sacred land. You can't. You know, you can't
anywhere.
mess it. So I have to ask you this instead. So we were just talking about EU Ambassador Sondland changing his testimony yesterday, that he had to be refreshed about quid pro quo, and you've been skeptical more than a lot of the Democrats about the impeachment inquiry. Were you surprised by what he did yesterday?
Well, look, the facts are important, and we'll get to that. I want to start with something that I think is also important about facts.
I'm not defensive, Tulsi shot back. I'm correcting you because you're wrong, and you know it. Scattered applause erupted, a few audience members even rising to their feet. Joy's cheeks deepened to crimson as she forced a rigid smile. The other hosts shifted uneasily, avoiding eye contact with the cameras. Tulsi leaned back, poised but razor sharp. You invited me here to talk, yet all you've done is insult me. Is that what you call journalism? Laughter rolled from the crowd.
It's offensive to me as a soldier, as an American, as a member of Congress, as a veteran, and frankly as a woman, to be so demeaned in
But you
such
called
a way.
her the personification of rock.
So demeaned
She's a woman
in such
too.
a way. Well, I'm pointing to the fact that she has continued this legacy of being the world's police around the world, that has waged wars costing the lives of thousands of my brothers and sisters in uniform.
Panicking, Joy shuffled her notes, pretending to search for a point. Tulsi didn't let up. "This isn't disagreement," she said firmly. "This is you deliberately spreading misinformation to millions." Silence fell like a hammer. Joy sputtered. "Well, that's just my opinion," Tulsi sliced in immediately. "No, Joy. That's not an opinion. That's a lie. And there's a difference." The audience erupted. Joy's confidence cracked, her expression collapsing into unease. Tulsi had seized full control.
I ran for Congress.
We actually have the clip of Hillary Clinton, just to put this in
to
context
put it
of
in
what we're
context.
talking about. Let's take a look at that.
I'm not making any predictions, but I think they've got their eye on somebody who's currently in the Democratic primary and are grooming her to be the third-party candidate. She's the favorite of the Russians. They have a bunch of, sites and bots and other ways of supporting her so far. That's assuming Jill Stein will give it up, which she might not, because she's also a Russian asset.
So
Really? I mean, this is outrageous. This is outrageous and offensive on so many levels. I've served as a member of Congress now for almost 7 years, receiving high-level national security and intelligence briefings, serving on the Foreign Affairs Committee, the Armed Services Committee, the Homeland Security Committee, working to ensure the safety and security of the people of this country. This is why I'm running for president, to continue that commitment of service.
So are you surprised, though, that when people see bots and things and all the things that we've sort of been seeing heading your way, that people have these questions? Because she's not the only one. Hillary, I don't think, is the only one. So what she's saying is she feels they are grooming you. You're saying nobody's grooming me. I'm doing what I'm doing because I'm a soldier and a patriot.
It's offensive to me as a soldier, as an American, as a member of Congress, as a veteran, and frankly, as a woman, to be so demeaned in
But you
such
called
a way.
her the personification of
It's
rock.
so demeaned
She's a woman
in such
too.
a way. Well, I'm pointing to the fact that she has continued this legacy of being the world's police around the world, that has waged wars costing the lives of thousands of my brothers and sisters in uniform. I'm speaking out against that, and
What's
to
your evidence
change
to that?
to change.
Well, can I?
Are you
can I-
serious?
Let's hear it.
Are you serious?
Let's hear it.
I served in the war
Not
in
you,
Iraq.
her. You're saying that she's-
exactly.
she's a
I
warmonger.
served
How do
in
you
the
come
war
up with
in
that?
Iraq
Yeah.
that she championed. She championed a regime change
Did
war
you not
in
believe
Libya.
in that war?
I believe the lies that were told to us.
Well, so did she.
So it is indisputable. It is indisputable.
Joy clutched her note cards like a lifeline. Tulsi never looked away. "You've built your platform on attacking people like me," Tulsi said, her calm voice carrying enormous weight. "But you can't bully someone who stood on real battlefields." The crowd exploded. Joy attempted a smirk, but it dissolved under Tulsi's piercing stare. "I'm just asking questions," Joy muttered. "No, you're making accusations," Tulsi corrected. "And you're doing it because you can't win with facts." Tulsi leaned in. "You called me an idiot, yet you ignore my record, my service, my experience." Joy looked around desperately for backup. "None arrived. I've served my country in war zones," Tulsi continued. "And I won't be belittled by someone who's never walked a day in my shoes." The audience roared as Joy shrank further into her chair.
Say anything other than the fact
Can I
that
say
Hillary, let me
something?
just close this out, that Hillary Clinton throughout her career has led with a foreign policy of interventionism and being the world's police, going and toppling dictators in other countries that has caused such destruction and loss of life. I'm against that. I'm running for president to change that. Rather than actually debate me on the issues, she and others are resorting to these smear tactic campaigns, seeking to undermine me, smear my character, and sending a message to anyone who dissents: toe the line or you too will be smeared.
"We're not moving on until this is clear," Tulsi said, unwavering. "You don't get to spread lies and then hide behind a smile." Joy tried a weak, "Well, Tulsi, maybe you'd know." "Joy, stop. You've had your turn." The room froze. The cameras hesitated. Tulsi pressed forward. "You accuse me without evidence, then pretend you're just asking questions. That's not journalism. That's manipulation." Applause thundered again. You attack my integrity because you're threatened by me, Tulsi continued. Threatened by someone who won't play by your rules. Joy sat silent, cornered, defeated. Then Tulsi delivered the line that shook the studio: if you don't want to be called out, stop embarrassing yourself on national television. Joy stared at the producers like she wanted an emergency exit. None came.
I do want to ask you something else. Kamala Harris said recently that her race and gender are, quote, the elephant in the room, and that many still question if America is ready for a woman, and specifically a woman of color, to be president. And you're also a woman of color.
Yeah.
Is that, you feel, been a problem for you? Do you agree with her?
No, I think the American people are ready for a president that will put people ahead of politics, put people ahead of profits.
Then why is she saying that, you think?
You have to ask Kamala that. I can't speak to why she's saying that. But what I've seen in our travels across New Hampshire, we just came from New Hampshire yesterday, across the early states, we have some New Hampshire people here, is we are building a code to bring about the systemic change we need to see to take our government back from the rich and powerful who control it and make it so our government is truly of, by, and for the people.
You can spin this however you want, Tulsi said, voice controlled and commanding. But everyone watching knows exactly what happened here today. The studio erupted in explosive applause. Tulsi hadn't just defended herself, she had turned the entire show inside out. The producers finally cut to commercial, but the damage was done. Social media lit up instantly when cameras returned. Joy tried to act normal, but her tone was smaller, restrained. Tulsi sat calm, composed, the clear victor. Joy attempted to lighten the mood. It failed. Finally, she muttered, I think we had a misunderstanding. Tulsi shut it down. No, Joy. We had a very clear understanding. You came at me with false accusations, and I responded with the truth. The audience roared yet again. You can call me whatever names you want, Tulsi said. But next time you try to discredit someone, have the facts first. Not everyone will sit here and take it. Joy opened her mouth, then closed it, the defeat unmistakable.
Because recently on your show here...
I was just going to get to that.
Good. Helping you out.
You want me to ask you?
No, look, some of you have accused me of being a traitor to my country, a Russian asset, a Trojan horse, or a useful idiot, I think was the term that you used. Which basically means that I'm naive or lack intelligence to know what's going on.
They use that.
I want to let your viewers know exactly who I am.
All right.
Set the record straight. I am a patriot. I love our country. I am a strong and intelligent woman of color, and I have dedicated almost my entire adult life to protecting the safety, security, and the freedom of all Americans in this country. It was the attacks on 9/11.
By the time Tulsi walked off set, the internet was on fire. Clips of her calling Joy out were everywhere, hashtags trending before the show even ended. Commentators piled in, supporters praising Tulsi's fearlessness, critics of The View calling it one of the most brutal takedowns in daytime TV history. Joy stayed silent the entire day, which only made the clips spread faster. Tulsi later posted a short message thanking viewers for their support and reminding them that standing up for truth isn't always comfortable, but it's always necessary. The post exploded. Tulsi hadn't just survived The View. She owned it. She controlled it. She left a mark. Joy Behar, and the show won't shake anytime soon. This wasn't a spat. It was a national moment, a reminder that on even the most controlled stage, truth can cut through everything, and Joy felt every inch of that cut.